So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're gonna talk about album number 15 by the Arizona Thrash metal legends, Flotsam and Jetsam. And yeah, that's a band that's been around since the 80s. They have some classic albums to boot, and obviously, a lot of people might know them because Jason Newsted was part of this band way back in the day before he joined Metallica. So they've been pretty consistent, and they're a band that had like a whole lot of albums. Then they had a while that they did release records, but since 2016, they've been putting out records pretty consistently. Actually, since 2010 until now, consistently putting out records, and they put out their last record, Blood in the Water, in 2021, which I thought it was okay. It had some things, and I remember the End of Chaos from 2019 I enjoyed, but I really enjoyed the one from 2016 that it was just Flotsam and Jetsam. So 15 albums, do they still got it? Well, I would say yes. They're a very consistent band. Maybe they have some albums that are better than others, but I don't think Flotsam and Jetsam is that band that has that stinker of an album. I think they're always pretty consistent. On this album, I Am the Weapon, which is album number 15, it's out this Friday, the 13th, and it has 11 new tracks. And out of those 11 new tracks, there's 4 singles already out. And it's very interesting because the 4 singles that are out are actually the first 4 songs on the record. You have A New Kind of Hero, Primal, I Am the Weapon, and Burned My Bridges. So I must say the 4 singles are pretty strong. So the album starts pretty strongly. Like, for example, A New Kind of Hero, the choruses, they're like, we need a new hero, like we need a new Superman. It's thrash metal, but it's very like fast, speedy. It almost sounds like a thrashier version of a Judas Priest record. And Judas Priest released an album this year, and it was pretty cool. So not that the lead singer sings like Rob Halford, because his voice doesn't have like the super range of Rob Halford, but it's very good as well. A New Kind of Hero, there was a part on the guitar that I don't know why, it kind of sounded a little bit like Hardwired to Self-Destruct by Metallica. There's a lot of riffs sometimes that sound similar, so I caught that. The song Primal, it's more like, they say a lot of like Primal, it's pretty thrash metal, pretty fast. All the songs here, there's a lot of like, there's solos, there's a lot of like super fast guitar playing, but they're heavy but accessible. It's not like death metal. I Am the Weapon, I think, is my favorite out of the singles, especially the way they sing the choruses, like I am the weapon. That one really has that Judas Priest influence to it. So Burn My Bridges, another great song, and I see why they chose these 4 songs as a single. So I think like, yeah, this, when you put like all the singles start the album, and you usually put your strongest things, does it say that the rest of the album is weak? I would say no. Something that you can get from this album is like, there's not a whole lot of variation in the tracks. The tracks that follow them, The Head of the Snake, it's those type of songs that you listen to once and you already know where it's going. Like the chorus says, like, you gotta cut the head of the snake, and it's like kind of predictable in the lyrics. But the lyrics here, I would say that musically this is very strong. Lyrically, there's some like like the tropes that they follow. Like a lot of the songs, like you can tell where it's going even in the first listen, but that doesn't mean that they're bad. They just mean they're playing it to their safe, to their strong suit. Flotsam and Jetsam are not going to change their sound on album number 15. So they do what they know best. But then you have Beneath the Shadows, Gates of Hell, Cold Steel Lights, and every song it's pretty similar. Like they have like they usually start pretty fast, and then they have like those anthemic choruses, and some like it feels like gallopy type of like the music how it goes. Sometimes they take a slower approach uh, with some tracks, and I think the last two tracks on the album are really strong. So they finish very strong with Running Through the Fire and Black Wings. And Black Wings is like a longer track, and it starts a little bit slower, and you get like more singing sometimes on that one. And Running Through the Fire is just a kick-ass, thrashy speed metal type of track. And it's all about you like running through the fire and being metal as fuck. So you can't go wrong with it. So yeah, Flotsam and Jetsam with I Am the Weapon, they're doing what they do best. They're not reinventing the wheel by any stretch of the mean, but it's also not a bad album. This is a consistent, solid album from a band that's been around for a lot of years. So they know what their strong suits are. And I think if you're a Flotsam and Jetsam fan, you're going to be satisfied with the end product of this record. If you're looking for like more variety, I don't think this is the record for you, because the tracks are all solid in my opinion, but they sound very similar to each other, like in some of the aspects. So it's an album that, some songs sadly can blend into each other, but I would still say it's worth your time. And I think these songs live is the way to listen to them, super thrash metal all the day. So I think it for me, it's an improvement to Blood in the Water. I think I enjoyed this one better than Blood in the Water. I'd say that it's more like the End of Chaos vibes to this one, and maybe the self-titled. But yes, nonetheless, another strong effort for Flotsam and Jetsam. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of I Am the Weapon? Do you think it's a very good album for the band, or is it just another Flotsam and Jetsam album? Comment down below. And if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to give me a like, and do not forget to subscribe. That helps me with the YouTube algorithm to get to more people like yourself. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.